Hello, welcome to my video. Today I'm going to cover the game between Nepomniachtchi and Alireza Firouzja from the Norway chess in round 2. This was played this year. This was the Armageddon game. Jan chose to play 1 e4. Alireza answers with e5. And now Jan chose the King's Gambit, which is interesting because he posted the Chessable course on the King's Gambit. Alireza took on f4, knight f3, and now Firouzja plays knight f6, which is a bit stranger. I think more popular lines are something like d5 or g5, but he chose this line, which is also correct. For black, now e5 was played, and now knight goes to h5 to defend the pawn and also to not get attacked by the bishop, so you don't allow any developing moves with tempo, like if you go to d5 then he gets either c4 or bishop c4, just getting his bishop out for free, or even just d4 c4. He avoids that by knight h5, this is a nice move, and now d4, tries to connect these pawns. Because black has some slight issues with the space, he plays d6, tries to open up the position, to open up his bishops, because the bishop on f8 doesn't have a good square except e7, so he wants to get a good square like d6 for his bishop. Nepo goes queen e2. And now the threat is real. He wants to capture on d6 with check. And that's why first Firouzja took knight e5, because if queen takes, then after queen e7 he just exchanges queens and black is more than fine. So knight e5, threatening some discoveries like knight c6 or knight g6. But the downside of this move is that it allows queen h4 check. And now, of course, white doesn't want to exchange queens because he's already a pawn down, so he either has to go to d1 or to play g3. If he goes to d1, I think that black has enough time to go bishop e7 and just castle on the king side. So Nepo tries to force things with g3, attacking the queen on h4, and keeping this potential discovered attack. Alireza correctly plays knight g3. hg, and now he takes the rook. Black is an exchange up, but black's king is still in the center. First Nepo took on f4. He didn't have any useful discovered check, because at this point if you go knight g6, let's say bishop e6, if you take knight c6, and once you castle the knight cannot get away. And black is just out of danger. He will collect the knight on h8, and it's really not that dangerous for black. So first he takes on f4, and now bishop e6, trying to cover this e-file, but this was apparently the decisive mistake. The better move was to play bishop d6. And again, like I said, black either castles, or white has to somehow stop him with knight g6. But we have something similar now. After bishop e6, if he takes, you can exchange first and then go knight c6. And after you castle, the knight will drop on h8, and black is even better in this position. And just to mention, a move like f5 doesn't work because of knight d4, capturing the pawn, and then the f5 also drops. So here, after bishop e6, after this very natural move, white is now having a decisive advantage. Now he just develops, finishes his development by knight c3, and now the d5 threat is very strong. So now black doesn't have time for developing moves like bishop e7 or something like that. Also, what is important to notice that after white castles, he will play bishop g2. That's also a huge threat. For example, if you go here, I can just castle. And if you castle, you say, okay, I'm now in the safety zone, but now you have other problems with bishop g2, and where does queen go? If it goes to h2, then rook h1 loses the queen on spot. So black now has to find some very creative ideas, and he tries with g5, but that doesn't help him. White just ignores this and plays d5. Black took on f4, and now he takes on e6. And this is really awful position if you think about it. Now white is going to castle, the king stays in the center because the d5 will be occupied, so you cannot castle on the queen side, and it's just a horrific position. Black tried with bishop d6, but now white just castles. Queen h6, trying to go for f3 as a threat, to at least exchange queens. But now white has this check. He will capture on b7 eventually. knight c6, and now first he takes on f7. Queen e6, and now bishop c4. Everything goes with tempo. Everything is just working out for white in this position. Black gave a check, but it doesn't matter because after king b1, black cannot even castle on the king side because of checkmate on g5. That's just unfortunate for him. So here he tries to exchange queens by queen c5, but after capturing, taking queen b7, now bishop b5 is even a threat, or bishop d5. Everything is just collapsing for black. He took on c4, but now white takes on a8. Knight has to go back to d8 because otherwise he loses the rook on h8. He goes back, and now rook e1. And now where does the king go? If it goes to d7, then white captures with check, and there's no possibility of covering like this because of rook e7, losing a queen. And if king c8, then you can play it slowly by pushing a3 and then bringing the rook to the game, but you can also play knight a4, which is the more concrete and much more effective way to win, because you head towards b6, there's nothing to be done. He went for f7, king f7, lost the a7 pawn by queen a7, and after king g6, white took on g4, now opens up the g file, and after queen c5, he doesn't even want to exchange queens to complicate stuff, just played rook g1, and in this position Alireza Firouzja resigned, because if he steps on the 5th rank, he will get rook g5. If he stays on the 6th rank, then queen g7 is deadly, and after king e6, you can give a check, and then you can choose between a checkmate, or if you're more sadistic, to take this rook. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day. Goodbye.